up like, oh, hey, by the way, we was really, really good at flag football, you know, but I loved it. So now that this is coming about, like a lot of my coaching buddies like, why did you never tell me? You know, da, da, da. I'm like, well, you know, you played, you know, in front of lots of people while I was playing intramurals. But I think you girls are like, I'm glad you're a freshman, because I think by your senior year, there's going to be so many opportunities in this. What really gets me excited is the Olympics.
Is it girls or just boys?
I think it's really more for girls, honestly. Like, so we just started this, and I'm in the process too of hopefully opening a facility. And if I get that space, what I want to do is basically create a program that is for like a national track. Like, go study, what are they looking at? Well, how do you make these teams? How do you get associated? And let's develop it. So you said you're senior, there's a senior quarterback who's pretty good?
Yeah, the senior, yeah.
She's pretty good?
She's got an arm, she's got a rifle. Not mobile, doesn't throw on the run. But I mean, we have one of the biggest plays is we got a track and field star. So just go long, go get it, and then like they'll do it 2 or 3 times in a row because they'll just wear them out.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. Can we put another one on you?
Yeah.
You can do both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I put it inside like this, or does it matter?
Outside, yeah. You go outside, yeah. Wherever's convenient for you.
Put them right side by side, is that fine?
Good. If you're okay with it, I know it's a little bit much.
Get this. There we go.
So, I mean, we would not consider this, but there's nothing as far as we're aware of down the pipeline. So, like, okay.
Well, here's the good news. I'm going to be working once a week already out with McEachern,
Okay.
their quarterback. So if we can maybe coincide some ways, and that way I'm kind of in that area.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And again, we can work it out to where it's, you know, sometimes you come here, sometimes I go there. Like, you know, just we'll figure it out. It really isn't. Like I'm going to go work with there's a guy that I'm going to start working with. He's out of Sonoraville. That's an hour and something away. So I'm going to try to meet him in the middle in like Canton. All right, which one do you want to go with? Give me 2 throws each again. Boop. Hey, it looks very similar. Got any preference? I think your right hand looks a little stronger. All right. All right, so can y'all clip some of these and share them with me?
No, yeah, I want to share everything with you.
All right, so first of all, I want to do, all right, you're just going to be, these lines are great. So just try to use the line, try to be as on the line as you can. I'm going to be right in front, all right? Just nice and comfortable, and just step and throw, okay? And I want to get that film from the side once, and then from straight ahead, like right here, okay? Again, just, I mean, you're not trying to throw it as hard as you can, but I want you to, like, hey, I got to get it there, okay? Good. Do one more that way. Good. Ooh. All right, now let's get it from the front, like right in front of her. Good. Good. All right, now, little brother, what's your name? Titan. All right, let's get you See where the blue and the yellow intersect right there? He's fine. He ain't got to run. So you stay where you were. All right. So we're going to go, I'm going to snap it to you, and you're going to try to get it to him as fast as you can. Big thing in flag, right? Getting the ball out fast. All right. So we're going to do 2 to the right. All right. Then we'll move him there, and then you're going to snap it, and then I want you to, like, take your time, find the laces. I call it in rhythm. So whatever you think that looks like. So I'm catching the ball, and now I got to get it out. But it's not like as fast as I can. Does that make sense? All right, this is as fast as you can. All right. So is that how you, yeah, I mean, just how you want to take a snap. Good. That throw. Uh-oh. Good. All right, buddy. Put you about right. About right here. All right. So now, I mean, again, I don't want you thinking about drops or anything like that. So however you feel like that girl's running down, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna throw it. Am I dropping back? Right? Am I just taking a step, gather? But you're really gathering up so you can put something on this. And I'll tell you kind of what I like later. Here you go. Perfect. Ooh, one more. Good. Same spot over there. Back up just a little bit. And that way just a little bit. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good. All right. Go back to your line. And now just turn around. So it'll be to your right now. All right, same thing. Fast as you can. Perfect. Hey, you don't know it now, but all you're doing is making this thing gonna look really, really good in a couple of days. There you go. All right. All right, stay right there, back up a little bit. There you go. So now, on the run, all right, you don't have to go super fast, but just move, right? Move. Try to get the ball to him best you can. Stay on the run. How long do y'all have till?
We have to be somewhere at 5:30.
So,
But you have to be
cool.
at 5, right?
Well, I could be late. I just if we're up against something, I just want to know. This will take as long as it takes, you know. Well, I'll just kind of gauge her. Yeah, she looks like she's getting burnt then. All right. Back up to that yellow line right there. Now we're to the left. Same thing. Yep. This is kind of windy, so I'll leave the long throw. So that's good. I'm gonna leave the long throw for another time. Thank you. All right, so yeah, just getting some baselines. We'll measure your throwing power another day. It's kind of windy and stuff out right now. So let's just start from the ground up here, all right, from the very basics. As we grip it, okay? First thing is, especially in flag, we want to be able, because the ball's coming out, to throw with or without laces, right? But if we have laces, cool, and if you like them, some people just don't even like them. Couple of just basic rules, all right? This index finger, I don't want it wrapped over the seam, right? I want my knuckle, let's get you a ball so you can kind of play around with it as I'm showing. All right, I want my knuckle, that first knuckle, to be on the seam, okay? Now, where these guys are doesn't much matter, these middle two, okay? So that's just kind of hand size. Some people are down here, some people are up here. It doesn't much matter. The big thing is I don't want this finger to become too dominant, because then only one finger is on the ball at release. If I have this finger here, two things. One, it's going to help two fingers come off the ball. Rotation, rifle, right? In your U.S. history or whatever, they used to shoot muskets, and they were very inaccurate. Little balls being propelled out. Then all of a sudden, somebody created these grooves and changed the bullet to have a point, and it spins and it cuts through the air and it's accurate. That's why spirals are important. Spirals help us be more accurate. Okay, so two fingers off the ball, naturally better than one finger, right? Right. All right. There's another reason for this, and I'll come back later. The next piece of the hand is the pinky. I do not want the pinky over the laces. I don't care where these two fingers are. You make it natural and feel good. I want first knuckle, and I want the pinky in the slot. Why? Because if I put the pinky here, naturally when I go to throw, there's going to be a little bit of a grip. Notice what it does to the nose of the ball.
Pitching it forward.
Yeah, so what you'll see a lot of times is when the pinky's over it and we pull the nose down, the ball almost comes out like this. There's two reasons why the ball will come out really, really junky. One is the pinky, pulling the nose down, and that nose needs to be up, aerodynamic. The other thing is where it rests in my hand. So the biggest thing of all of this is where I place my thumb needs to be comfortable and something that gives me what we call a palm pocket. I don't want the ball resting in my palm. All right, so again, either the nose is coming down or the ball is in my palm, and when I go to throw, it won't spin, it'll shot put, because it's a palm ball, right? Even pitchers in baseball, there's a thing they call a palm ball where they stick it deep and they throw it and the thing comes out and it looks all junky, right? So that's basically what you're doing if you let the football rest. Okay. All right, so find your grip, right? That's mine. Again, where does the thumb go? It's just kind of, I don't need it too low like that, right? I need to have control, but it can't be tight. All right, so just kind of toss it around a little bit, feel it. At first, this is one of those things that can mess somebody up. Oh, it was comfortable the way I was doing it. Well, yeah, it's comfortable because that's what you know, right? But once you get comfortable doing it this way, I can't pick a ball up any other way. You know what I mean? So it just naturally goes there. It doesn't matter if I have the seams or not, right? I'm still here and I'm trying to get the ball into this position. Lastly, right? Let's just say I'm going fast and I don't get a great grip. The biggest thing, and I'll tend to do this, especially when I'm trying to throw the ball hard, is what I said earlier, like that grip. We want to try to train ourselves like a Labrador retriever retrieving a duck, right? It rests in its mouth. It doesn't grip down. When I grip down, it's going to get deep in my hand. That nose comes down, things like that. So you want to feel it almost controlled in your fingertips. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, that's the grip. Next, the wrist. Very, very important. All right. If you were to go and get mad and punch a wall, right? So just kind of think about that. I'm gonna use as a matter of fact, punching a bunch, because there's just such a correlation to what we're trying to do. But there's a reason. Would you hold your wrist like that? It breaks, right? Would you hold your wrist like that? No. You're gonna hold your wrist in that neutral position, right? That's where we want the wrist as we address the ball. You're gonna see lots of people do a bunch of funky things and it puts them in a bad position. We want that wrist in a neutral spot, right? Sometimes I think about like, hey, drinking a Coke or a canned soda or something like that. That's how we want to hold our wrist integrity through the entirety of the throw. And you'll notice a lot of times people will start to cock it, or they'll start cocked even, right? But we want to try to hold a neutral wrist through the entirety of the throw, all right? Let me go from there, and then we'll finish 4 fingers down. This is called pronate, all right? So when we finish, we can check that. We want to snap those fingers, and we want it to come down in that direction. If we're here, right, we're going to get a slice out of the ball, okay? What we want is straight at our target and even exaggerated down, okay? That makes sense, so I'm finishing there. Okay, so that's our grip, that's our wrist, all right? How we finish, all right? Now, moving on to kind of the arm. I mean, I'm not going to try to overcoach this arm, but I do want you to hear kind of these things, all right? We're going to talk about on our separate, when we push the ball back, and I'm going to use that term specifically. Instead of pulling back, I want to push back. Notice what's happening to my front side shoulder. It's closing a little bit, right? So we're going to talk a lot about having a firm front side that doesn't fly open. Because one of the biggest things that's got to happen in a base pocket throw to be able to drive the ball, I'm going to push back to an L. Notice that, right? Kind of a vertical, this little horizontal L. And then naturally it's going to small circle up. Now I've got a vertical L. And now I've got to get the elbow in front of my shoulder. That's it. All right. So back, push back, lift, elbow in front. There'll be, and what's really good is when I have a little bit of a lag, right? I'm going to create a whipping sensation. Okay. But the reason that elbow has to get in front, all right? Let me show you this. Have you ever done like tricep extensions, like with a weight? All right, so just imagine this is as heavy weight as you can and do a tricep extension for me real quick. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Hold. Back, down, hold. Why is your elbow right there? Right? Because your shoulder, your body has this really cool way of saying, all right, if I'm going to put something heavy, I want to get my shoulder in a position. If I tried to do a tricep extension from here, all right, right? So your shoulder feels distress. Here, it feels no stress. It's in a perfect position. The Germans have a name for this position. They call it zero position because it puts zero stress on your shoulder. This is how they actually started to do shoulder rehabs, right? When they would do shoulder surgery, they called it zero position, all right? If I put the elbow there, it takes pressure off. Elbow behind, pressure on, right? So how do I alleviate pressure on, right? How do I alleviate pressure on? If I'm going to throw the ball there, how are you going to get it there? Move your arm. I mean, how would you get it there, right? It's going to come around. It's going to come around, right? Now notice everything that happens. If that ball comes around, now I'm going to slice through. I'm going to be guessing, right? All kinds of things are going to happen just because I didn't get my elbow in front of my shoulder. Now my elbow's in front of the shoulder. Now how can I finish to the target? Straight at it. Makes sense, right? If I want to be accurate, I want to take every variable out. I want to go right at you. I sometimes would paint, or I draw a red circle on the wrist. And I'm like, if you can see this red circle as I'm throwing, I want it to be like a laser, like painting my target. Boom. But the only way I can do that is if I get the elbow in front. Elbow in front, elbow in front, elbow in front, so I can paint. Does that make sense? Yes. Right? So you'll hear me talk about that. Now, there's a cool thing when you start understanding what's going on. After every throw, you can kind of watch and say, okay, that's what happened. I have a pretty good idea why. So if the elbow misses zero and I come out here, I'm guessing. I might miss right, I might miss left, or I might miss low a lot of times because I don't know where that proper release point is. I can get this thing trained here. Bam, bam, bam. Every time I come out here, now I'm guessing, okay? So if I'm throwing, I'm playing catch, and I keep missing it right, or I keep missing it left, I'm like, okay, my elbow is missing 0. Now I'll show you some drills that you can do. All right, let me help train that real quick. All right. The other thing we talked about earlier was if my wrist fires early. So if the ball, and I'm saying it wasn't in your palm or anything's wrong with your grip, if your grip is good and I see the ball wobble or miss high, my wrist probably fired early. So I'll show you some drills that'll help you with that too. So you'll see my quarterbacks, especially when I was coaching, teams, they'll be playing, they'll be warming up, and all of a sudden they're making, and you'll just see them, they'll step back and they'll do a couple of things just to try to ignite, recalibrate things in. All right. So again, I know I'm giving you a bunch right now. Kind of making sense though. All right. So all this will come together. Is this shoulder connected to this shoulder essentially, right? So if this shoulder moves, this shoulder moves. So remember what I said about the front side earlier. So if the front side opens, it pulls this shoulder. Well, the elbow's back here. So if this is running, it already has a head start, it's never going to catch up, is it? All right. So one of the main reasons I want to keep the front side closed is so that I can get the elbow started to catch up, so that when I get square to my target, it's in front. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as we talk about the front side, we want to close it slightly, and we can do that by pushing the ball back. They used to talk about NFL quarterbacks and like say, oh, they're lazy or they're showboats because they pat the ball. What they didn't realize is, no, it's a timing mechanism. Because when I push away, so some coaches still don't like the pat. I don't like the pat if you don't know why you're doing it. If you're just doing this, it's wasted motion. But if I get it timed to where it's there, and it's timed to my foot, even though we're not really talking about that right now, but my stride, I should be separated as my foot goes down. Boom, boom. That make sense? And what's good about it is it starts to close that shoulder a little bit. All right, now I want to stay firm on that front side. So as I come through, I brace and I extend to the target. Okay, so as we work down the body, back to my punching reference, if you watch boxers, they're trained, do they throw punches like this? How do you throw a punch? Show me. How do you think? All right, good. Right, good. It's coming from the hip, 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 hip. Notice what I'm doing. I'm turning and driving that hip through here. All right. I use the front side to brace. It's a physics. If I do this, energy leaks out. Energy leaks out, and I'm going to naturally fall off and tend to miss. I wish somebody would have told me this growing up. Watch a hitter in baseball. They're firm, boom, and they're here. Watch a golfer, boom, right? I was a shifter. Everything I ever did in life, I used my front side more, and it forced me here. Everything was here. So the first thing I'm going to look at, one of the first things I'm going to look at is her body shifting? If you're shifting, you're not getting the power source. So we want to make sure we're engaged here, and we drive and we turn that hip. We activate that glute. All right, and I've got some ways to help you. That's it. That's really good. Anybody ever see it? They call it the DAC. You see those professional quarterbacks and they're doing this all the time?
Yes.
That's what they're doing. It's called hip dissociation. I'm activating my hips before my what? Shoulders. Naturally, most people do this. So you lose your hip. It's a connective chain. Starts here, goes to here, firm here, then out through my arm and my hand. If I do this, I lost this. All right? One more physics lesson, just to prove this point one more time. If I'm driving down the road at 100 miles an hour with no seatbelt on, and I hit a fixed object, what happens to me? I go through the windshield, right? Morbid, but that's what happens, okay? So, the force that we're generating is the car. All right? The ball is us in this analogy. The wall is our front side.
Okay.
So we are rotational athletes, meaning we want to start by rotating and then finish linear. If we just rotate, again, we're guessing. So how does it go from rotational to linear? Is stopping ourselves with the front side. So we want to keep that hand inside our framework. We want to be strong in the ground here. We want to be firm in the ground here. Boom. And we want to stop ourselves. So we accelerate and decelerate. A great exercise is taking a med ball against a wall and trying to throw it as hard as you can. And once you start to feel that not only do I want to drive, but I want to stop. A sudden start and stop creates force. All right? I've seen baseball players who are really strong break their bat on a check swing because that's what we're applying here. That's the force, right? So boom, that's what we're wanting to try to create. Boom. And a lot of times it's easier to feel it with a punch. So we're here, we're here, we're here. I'll have you do that a lot, like just feel it. Now apply it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I know I'm just burning you up right now, but you got all these things to think about and have later. So again, do it again. There, do it again. Beautiful. All right, now let's talk about our feet. So our base, all right, is comfortable. Probably about where you play basketball.
Hi.
All right, D me up real quick. All right, so stand up, start to D up, but don't get all the way down. I just want to activate my hips. All right, I'm a little wide here, so bring it in just a hair. And I want to play in that base. So even when I'm moving, and this is what we'll do here in a minute just to get you moving and get your mind not thinking, right? We want to move, and we want to keep those feet apart. Just like I'm sure your basketball coach tells you, right? We don't want to click heels. The wider our base to a point, the easier it is. We want to minimize movement. So I don't want to stride. And what I've noticed about girls versus boys just in this short time, we got to coach the mess out of overstride with boys. I'm an overstrider because I was a baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Everything is here. Well, what are my hips doing? They're shifting, right? We want this. Straddle this line. You can face me, right? We're working right-handed, so it'll be that foot. So basically what I want to do is when I go to step, I want it to be no more, I mean, honestly, just down, just down. Just down. It's a timing mechanism, right? And I don't want my body going up and down. Boom, boom, boom. That's all I need. So the wider I am, and a lot of times I play with a wide base, I won't even have to step. I'll just go. That makes sense? So we don't want to be here either. Okay? We don't want to just step here because then the hips can't come through either. So too wide, I can't activate. Too narrow, and I'm on top of myself. All right? Last thing I'll leave us with, and you'll hear me talk about this a bunch. That, if you imagine this whole mechanism as a gun and you're trying to be accurate, that's your scope right here. All right? So wherever that thing is pointed, wherever this thing is pointed, and when I have all three pointed at the same direction, I can be most accurate. Okay. So when I want to get all those things set up. Now there's going to be times when we're on the run and things are going to happen. With my stride or with my step, I want to clean the scope, or I want to clear the scope. Meaning, I don't want to step on my midline because it makes it hard to get my hips through. I don't want to step way outside my midline because now I've taken my hips completely out. I want to step to where there is just that much space. A great drill is just getting on a line. All right, middle of my foot. I'm here, right? And just work your step. Boom. I should be just see where my toe is. That's fine. That's good, right? So I want to be in that kind of position. Okay, I want to be in that kind of position, and then we can take it one step further. Come on over here, And now I want to see, can I keep my hips on the white? So I'm going to step off the red, boom, and keep my hips over the white, because if they weren't, that means I'm here, correct? Right? So here, 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 firm into the ground. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Grab you a swig of water. And I'm sure you're burned up right now.